Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal are in advanced negotiations. Deals are at advanced stages for Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. And of course, according to Florian Plettenberg from Germany, Arsenal will close these deals in the next 7 days. It is believed that Arsenal will spend over 160 million on Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, but Mikel Arteta is pushing for both players at the moment. We're going to be diving into that. It's a huge story coming in the last 5 minutes, and I still feel Arsenal will sign another midfielder this summer. Even when we get Kai Havertz, even when we get Declan Rice, we will sign another midfielder. It could be Romeo Lavia, but I really doubt it's going to be Romeo Lavia because of the asking price at Southampton. But I still believe Arsenal will sign another midfielder. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's have the conversations in the comment box below. Rice and Kai Havertz, is that a good way to start the window, or you feel we should have done a Caicedo Rice? Because again, a Caicedo Rice has been a very, very popular opinion on Twitter, on Instagram, and everywhere you can host football opinions. Caicedo has been the topic when it comes to Arsenal. Arsenal pulled out of Caicedo. We are now progressing on Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. Now, as well, PSG have also talked with Mikel Arteta about the possibility of going to Paris Saint-Germain. Luis Ocampos, the director of football there, has literally told him, if you come here in Paris, we could give you whatever you want to build such an exciting prospect. But I can also be very, very glad to tell you that Arteta is ready to turn their project down. So let's get this video to 500 likes. Thoughts on Mikel Arteta to PSG and thoughts on Rice and Havertz as a way to start our transfer window as well. Right, let's get into it. Now, this is the first story that I've been looking at on football Twitter in the last few minutes, and it shows that PSG are really interested in Mikel Arteta, and they would love to take him, in France. So the story, as quoted by the Arsenal Buzz, says that Paris Saint-Germain sporting director or sporting advisor Luis Campos recently spoke to Mikel Arteta about the vacant manager position at the club. But the chances that the discussions will end in a contract are almost zero, as Mikel Arteta feels good about the project he is building at Arsenal Football Club. Look, we don't need to go into the details of this one. I think it's very, very clear. Arteta will never, he will definitely never leave Arsenal in the next 2 or 3 years. That's my opinion. I'm strongly convinced he won't go anywhere in the next 2 or 3 years. One, I think, look, everything is asked for from the Cronkies. He's been given. I think he's the most blessed Arsenal manager ever in our history. He has a £50 million signing in Benjamin White. I don't think Arsene Wenger was going to sign a £50 million centre-back. He has a midfield of really exciting talent. Fabio Vieira, Martin Odegaard, the likes of Thomas Partey as well. And look at his forward line and look at his back line. Look, if you're Mikel Arteta right now, what you're thinking about is, I've built this over a very long period of time, 3 years, 4 years. I've invested almost half a decade of my life into this project. It is high time I start winning. It's high time I get, my hands on silverware. And he wants to be that Arsenal legend. I think as Arsenal captain, he did win us 2 FA Cups, if I'm not forgetting. He did win us 2 FA Cups. And as manager, he's already won us an FA Cup title, an FA Cup trophy. So I think what he's looking at, and what is going, through his head is, if I can get this Arsenal side and win the Champions League, one, I'll be the first manager to do it, but then I will also be the first manager to win Arsenal the Premier League since Arsene Wenger in 2004. That is history. If he does that, there will be a big question whether his legacy is closer to Arsene Wenger's. Of course, Arsene Wenger's legacy at Arsenal is undisputed. It is unprecedented. But if Mikel goes on to win the Premier League and the Champions League, there will be questions of, is his legacy closer to that of Arsene Wenger? Because he will have done something that many managers have failed to do, and he will have done something that the greatest managers only have done in football. You look at Mourinho, he has a Champions League. You look at Pep Guardiola and how hard it was for him to win another Champions League ever since leaving Barcelona. But again, he has it. Sir Alexander Chairman Ferguson, he has it. So I think what Wenger failed to do in his legacy and during his time was to win that UCL. And for me, Mikel, that is going to be his target. But we'll talk about this later in the video. Let's dive into the advanced talks. And this comes in from Politico. It says Arsenal are now advancing very, very clearly and closely on two deals. Says news on Kai Havertz. He's been told Arsenal is very confident to sign both Rice and Havertz, despite the fact that Chelsea has rejected the first offer. Arteta pushing for Kai Havertz. He also says down here that Arsenal are in advanced stages for both players. No buy-in offer for Havertz yet. Arsenal is planning the next steps. Bayern next transfer meeting scheduled next week at Sky Sports Germany as well. So listen, Political is a very credible journalist. That's why I really bring you much of his stories. I think Jakob Steinberg, David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, and Politico, those are the four journalists that right now I follow and I really, really like, right? Look, the rest of the likes of Charles Watts, of course, Charles Watts is my guy. He's up there. The moment he releases something, he rarely releases a story. But the moment he releases something exclusive, of course, you know, it's absolutely true. But with Politico, I think he's been really working very, very closely and very, very consistently on these deals, especially the Kai Havertz deal. He's German. He's got his, nails all over this, into this deal. He's got his, his influence all over this deal, and he knows what is happening, especially now the fact that Bayern are interested. I think Arsenal have just made these two deals very difficult for clubs without a very big financial base. And I say this in a way that, one, I think Declan Rice, Arsenal will go up to 100. Like, we will go up to 100. That is confirmed. With Kai Havertz, the fact that we've gone in with an initial offer of 55 million, I think many clubs would have thought, well, Kai Havertz has had 3 bad seasons at Chelsea. If they can give him to us at around 55 million, we will definitely take him. But what Arsenal have done here is they've gone, anyone who doesn't have 55 million is out of the deal. Madrid is out of the deal because they're only willing to offer around 49, according to what I know, around 49 and below, right? So we've just cut so many clubs out of the deal. And many people are going to ask the question, is Kai Havertz, worth, risking 50 million, 60 million for if you have talents like, Florian Wirtz at Bayer Leverkusen, if you have talents like Gabri Veiga, 35 million, release clause at Celta Vigo? Many clubs will ask that question. And that's why you see in the recent weeks, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, all these clubs are looking at, Gabri Veiga because they feel he's 21, younger, and he's had quite a very, very fascinating season. His breakthrough season has been really, really good at Celta Vigo. So in my opinion, I really cannot say that Arsenal will definitely get these deals done tomorrow or the day after, but I'm very, very sure 100% we are going to sign these two players. Like, these deals will definitely happen. The initial bids, both of them being rejected, is not something big for me. The Declan Rice deal, the fact that we went in with around 80 million, it was disappointing. It was really, really disappointing. But hey, think about it. If you have a chance to sign him for less than 100, that's what you want to do. Because in the future, we will want a striker. And we know the striker market. Look at Victor Osimhen, 100 million. You look at players like Dusan Vlahovic, and maybe the strikers for the future are going to be expensive, players as well. So for me, I think Arsenal are on the right track. Are we advanced? Are we at advanced stages for both deals? I believe so. I really believe Politico, and I think we might just have had a very good start to the window. We might just have had one of the best starts to a transfer, because today is the 17th. The window opened 3 days ago, and we are in advanced stages to sign 2 of our priority and primary targets. It's absolutely marvelous. It's absolutely very, very, fascinating. Right, so just to give you a little bit of detail on this story, Transfers can confirm that Arsenal are confident on signing $150 million duo. That is Kai Havertz and Declan Rice. Journalist Florian Plettenberg confirms that Arsenal are confident of sealing the transfers of West Ham's Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. Plettenberg also says that he's been told Arsenal is very confident to sign both of them, despite the fact that Chelsea rejected the first offer from Arsenal. The Gunners will look to complete a £105 million deal for Rice, and the players, of course, keen to join Arsenal. We have heard that that Arsenal are working on 50 million plus 10 million pounds in add-ons, a total of 60 million for Kai Havertz. Personal terms, or race have never been an issue on this deal. So that is what is going on. That is what's coming out of the walls. Kai Havertz and Declan Rice for £105 million. I don't think that is bizarre, and I don't think that is overpaying for two such world-class talents. Look, I know many Arsenal fans right now totally disagree with the idea of Kai Havertz. I understand, but at least we can agree that Declan Rice will not go for anything less than 100. I think we can agree on that. So if we agree on 100 for Declan Rice, if we know it's going to cost 100 for Declan Rice, and Chelsea asking for around 70 for Kai Havertz, it means the middle ground for this deal, for the Kai Havertz deal, is definitely 60. It's definitely 60-65. And I won't be mad, I won't be really angry if Arsenal do a £60 million deal for Kai Havertz. He's such a talent. He's such a very, very gifted player. He's not played anywhere close to his levels. He's not performed anywhere close to his levels at Chelsea. Is that his problem? Probably, yeah, probably, because if you're signed for huge amounts of money, around 70 million, then in my opinion, you've got to deliver. You've got to give us the reason as to why. You've got to meet the reason as to why you were signed for 70. 39 goals in 130 games. That is nowhere near close to what Kai Havertz is supposed to be providing for any other club, top or average club. But listen, Arsenal and Bayern both want to play Kai Havertz in midfield. They look at him as a midfielder, and they look at him as a player who can play in that creative role in midfield. It speaks something. It really, really does speak something about the way he's been used at Chelsea, and the way Chelsea fans look at him, as a player. Because I was listening to Laurie Jennings on TalkSport and on his YouTube channel, and his argument for or against Kai Havertz is he's such an inconsistent player, and he's a player who doesn't add anything that Arsenal do not have in our squad. And that is such a very, very wrong conclusion from Laurie. Because one, I think we've not had that, explosively creative player ever since Messi Ozil. We've not had one. I think Odegaard is good. I think Odegaard is really, really good. But Odegaard can be your deep-lying playmaker. But there's that kind of player who's not even cautious about, the space behind him. All he wants to do is go forward. All he cares about is the amount of goals this team scores and the amount of assists the team, records. And that is why I want Kai Havertz. And that's why I feel Kai Havertz is such a very great addition. Now, is he miles level of what we have? I don't think so. The last 3 years have not given him the platform to, build that consistency, to build that form, so that when he comes into a club like Arsenal, when he comes into a team like Arsenal, he's massively better. Right? So everyone will tell you he's not better than Saka. That is true. He's not better than Martinelli. That's true. But if he comes into Arsenal, and we give him that number 10 role, and we tell him, you're going to be playing in that, left-sided pocket of space where Xhaka has been playing, but you will be free. You're not going to be pinned in as a striker. You're not going to be our target man. He's not a target man. Yes, he's very, very versatile. Probably one of the reasons why they signed him, but he's not a target man, right? So where Chelsea want Mason Mount to play is where Kai Havertz wants to play. He wants to be running. He wants to be, opening up spaces, running into spaces, arriving late into the penalty area, hitting balls out of the penalty area as well. And he wants to be sliding those balls through. He doesn't want to be the guy who always has to be in the right position, has to be onside all the time, and has to be pinning centre backs back. That is not his game, and that's not what he's all about. So for me, 105 million to start the transfer window, that is such a huge statement, right? That's a really, really huge statement. And if we want to keep Mikel Arteta, I think it's high time we get the deals that he wants, over the line. Look, he's asked for so many quality players, and we've not signed them. Imagine if we had Houssem Owa in that deal, in that midfield, or if we had Yuri Tillemans in that midfield, or if we had Dusan Vlahovic at centre forward, or if we had Andre Onana, because again we wanted Andre Onana before Ramsdale, or if we had Andre Onana, our team would be much, much better. Imagine Onana in goal, Tapsoba in defense as well. Of course, a deal that we didn't do. Tillemans and Houssem Owa, 2 deals that we didn't do. Maybe, one, if one signs, the other does not. But yeah, still. Mikhailo Modric, Dusan Vlahovic. So you look at the quality of players, of top players that we have failed to get, and you've got to answer the question, is Mikel Arteta being let down? Now, personally, I don't think he's being let down, but I still think we need to get these deals done. He wants them, and they're players he deserves. He's actually, written code for this project, and it is absolutely bearing fruit right now. And not bearing fruit in terms of trophies or silverware, bearing fruit in terms of bringing the fans together, enjoying the football, enjoying the atmosphere. And, it just gives us a lot to talk about as a club, right? Where we are from and where we are going. So Arsenal advancing on those 2. Let's wait and see the breakthroughs, and let's wait for those breakthroughs to happen, and then I will be reporting directly. See you soon.